You will be forgotten. Not as punishment, as fact. Time forgets everyone who lives for noise, who chases applause, who needs the room to notice them. Look around. Most men die twice, once when the breath stops, and again when the last person who knew their name dies. That second death is faster, quieter, and for most, it comes within one generation. You were taught the opposite. Post more, talk louder, prove yourself, be seen. That's how you become smoke. Here for a moment, gone with the wind, a trending face nobody can name next week. There is another way. Older than cities, harder than comfort. It doesn't beg to be remembered. It refuses to be forgotten. It starts with a test. Simple, brutal. Walk into a room, say nothing, do the work, leave. Come back in 100 years. Is there any trace you were there? Did the way you lived change how someone else lived? Did your habits outlive your heartbeat? If the answer is no, you are not living. You are waiting to be erased. There is a code for men who refuse that fate. Not for fame, for weight, for impact that outlives flesh. 7 habits. Practice daily, in private, when no one is watching, when no one claps. They are not easy. They are not fast. They cost you sleep. They cost you comfort. They cost you the approval of weak men. But they buy you something time cannot kill. Fame is given by crowds, and crowds forget. Character is built in silence, and silence echoes. This is not about being liked. It's about being unshakable. Not about being seen, about being stone when the storm hits. You do not become unforgettable by accident. You become unforgettable by habit, by what you do when it's hard, by what you keep when it costs you, by how you hold yourself when life tries to break you. 7 habits, 1 life, no second chances. The clock is already running. The only question is this: when they carve your name, will it wash away in the rain? Or will it still be there when the world forgets what rain is? Start now, or be forgotten. The choice has always been yours. Most men wake up and ask the same question. What's happening today? Wrong question. That's how you become a slave to the world. You check your phone. You check the news. You check what other people want from you. Before your feet hit the floor, the world already owns your mind. You are reacting before you are thinking. You are answering before you are asking. You are living someone else's day. The first habit of the unforgettable is the opposite. They wake up and ask, what will I stand for today? Not what will happen. Not what will they do to me, but what will I do, no matter what they do. Because the only thing ever truly yours is your choice. Not your money, not your body, not your reputation. Those can be taken in a breath. But your choice, how you meet the morning, how you hold yourself when plans collapse, that belongs to you until you give it away. So they rise before the world, not for discipline points, for war. The day is a battlefield, and battles are won by those who take the high ground first, before the notifications, before the noise, before the first insult, the first setback, the first excuse. You claim the morning, or the morning claims you. It starts in silence. No words, no inputs. You sit, you breathe, you remember you will die. Not to be grim, to be free. Death is the great teacher. It strips the trivial. When you hold death in your mind for 1 minute each dawn, suddenly the argument about traffic feels small. The fear of looking stupid feels small. The need to be liked feels like a joke. What remains is what matters. Your character, your courage, your word. Then you train, not because you love pain, because you love freedom. A body that cannot endure cold, or hunger, or fatigue, will sell your soul for comfort. The man who cannot say no to a warm bed cannot say no to a corrupt deal. The man who cannot run cannot stand. So you move, hard, early, when no one watches. The point is not the muscle. The point is the message you send yourself. I do hard things on purpose, so easy things don't break me. Then you write. Not a journal for Instagram, a war ledger. 2 columns. On the left, what is in my control today? My effort, my honesty, my temper, my focus. On the right, what is not in my control? Other people's opinions, the weather, the market, the past. You draw a line between them in ink, so you can draw it in your mind all day. Most suffering comes from fighting the right column. The unforgettable don't fight it. They ignore it. They pour all their fire into the left. Then you rehearse, you close your eyes and walk through the worst parts of the day before they happen. The boss who insults you, the deal that falls apart, the friend who betrays you. You feel the anger rise in your chest now, in silence, so it doesn't own you later in public. You decide now what kind of man you will be then. Because if you don't decide in advance, the moment will decide for you. And the moment is a poor leader. This whole habit takes 1 hour, no more, but it buys you back your whole day. Without it, you are wood. The world is the fire. You will burn. With it, you are stone. The world is the storm. You will stand. People will call it extreme. They will say you are missing out. They are right. You are missing out on anxiety, on being offended, on waking up already defeated. You are missing out on living as a reaction to everyone else's action. The cost is high. You will lose sleep. You will lose the warm scroll through feeds. You will lose the comfort of blaming the day when it goes bad. Because now, it's yours. If you waste it, that's on you. No excuses. No, they made me. But the return is higher. You walk into chaos, and you are already calm. Because you met chaos at 5 a.m. and shook its hand. You face insult, and you are already still. Because you insulted your own weakness at dawn, and it said nothing back. You meet loss, and you are already grateful. Because you buried yourself this morning and lived anyway. This is the first habit, because without it, the other 6 are decoration. You cannot be honest if you are asleep. You cannot be just if you are reactive. You cannot be courageous if you haven't already faced death before breakfast. So tomorrow, don't ask the world what it has for you. Tell the world what you have for it. Get up. Meet death. Move your body. Draw your line. Rehearse your battles. Then go. And whatever happens, happens. But it won't happen to a slave. It will happen to a man who was ready. That is why 100 years from now, when they walk through the ruins of this age, they will find your footprints still in the stone. Not because you were famous, because you were early, because you were awake, because you owned your morning, and so you owned your life. The day is coming. The day is always coming. The only question is whether it meets you as its master or its victim. Most men are liars, not to others, to themselves. They say they want truth, but they live on stories. I'm not ready. They won't understand. It's not the right time. I'll do it tomorrow. Every sentence is a soft bed where their courage goes to die. They decorate their chains and call them reasons. They polish their excuses until they look like wisdom. The second habit of the unforgettable is brutal honesty. Not with the world first, with the mirror. You stand there each night, and you answer for your day. No audience, no applause, no filter. Did you do what you said you would do? Did you keep your word when it cost you? Did you speak straight when a lie would have been easier? Did you run from discomfort or walk into it? Most men cannot survive that conversation, so they avoid it. They stay busy, they stay loud, they stay distracted, because silence tells the truth, and the truth burns. But fire is how steel is made. Brutal honesty starts with language. Cut the fat, cut the fluff, cut the kinda, sort of, I'll try. Try is a funeral word. It buries intention. You either do or you don't. You either are or you aren't. The rest is smoke. So you speak plainly. Yes, no, I will, I won't, I was wrong, I don't know. 4 sentences that terrify weak men. 4 sentences that build kingdoms. People will hate you for it at first. Liars always hate the man who holds up a mirror. You will lose friends who only loved your mask. You will lose deals that needed your dishonesty to close. You will lose the easy comfort of being liked by everyone. Good. Let it burn. What remains after fire is what cannot be destroyed. You also practice it in thought. Every desire you feel, you interrogate. Do I want this, or do I want to be seen wanting this? Every fear, you dissect. Am I afraid of the thing, or afraid of what they'll think if I fail at the thing? Every anger, you trace back. Did they hurt me, or did they expose a place where I am still weak? You do not lie to yourself about your motives. You do not lie to yourself about your record. You do not lie to yourself about your death. You will die. Soon. Sooner than you think. That is not a threat. That is a deadline, and deadlines kill excuses. This habit costs you the ability to be a victim. You cannot say they made me, when you promised yourself you'd never blame again. You cannot say, I didn't have time, when you know you watched 2 hours of nothing. You cannot say, I'm just not that kind of person, when you decided what kind of person you are each morning. That is why most men will never practice it. Victimhood is comfortable. It has company. It has sympathy. It has 0 responsibility. But the man who is honest with himself becomes dangerous. You cannot manipulate him with flattery. He already knows his flaws better than you do. You cannot shame him with failure. He already named it last night, and went to work on it at dawn. You cannot buy him with praise. He doesn't need to be seen. He needs to be solid. So he walks into rooms and tells the truth when it costs him. He admits when the plan was stupid, and his fault. He says, I don't know, instead of pretending. He says, that was weak of me, instead of hiding. And slowly, people start to trust him with their lives. Because a man who won't lie to himself won't lie to you. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. You don't use truth as a weapon to cut others. You use it as a chisel to cut yourself into something unbreakable. You don't demand it from others until you've demanded it from yourself for years. At night, when the day is done, you sit again. You review. Where did I lie today, even by silence? Where did I pretend? Where did I perform instead of perform? You write it down, not to punish, to correct. The page is your judge. The next dawn is your appeal. Do this for 1 year. You will not recognize yourself. You will be harder, quieter, heavier. When you speak, people will listen because you only open your mouth when the words have weight. When you walk, the room will settle because you are not carrying 10 false versions of yourself. That is the second habit. It is not for everyone. Most will read this and go back to their stories, back to their beds, back to being liked. But you, if you want to be unforgettable, you will tell the truth, especially when your voice shakes, especially when it costs you, especially to yourself. Because a man who cannot face himself will always run, and a man who runs will always be forgotten. Stand, speak plain, or stay smoke. Most men want justice from the world before they give justice to the world. They tally every slight. They record every debt. He didn't reply to my text. She got the promotion I deserved. They don't respect me. They carry a ledger in their chest, and they spend their life trying to balance it. But the world is not a ledger. The world is a storm, and storms do not do accounting. The third habit of the unforgettable is to do what is right because it is right, not because it will be seen, not because it will be repaid, not because it will be easy, because anything less is slavery. Justice is not a feeling. Feelings are weather. They change. Justice is a standard. It stands. You do not wait until you feel calm to be fair. You do not wait until they apologize to be decent. You do not wait until it benefits you to be honest. You are just, especially when it costs you, especially when no one is watching, especially when the other man is wrong. This begins with the small thefts. The pen you didn't return, the credit you took for work that wasn't yours, the gossip you repeated because it made you look informed, the price you inflated because the buyer was careless. Every time you take what isn't earned, you teach your soul that you are a beggar, and beggars are forgotten. So you pay what you owe: money, attention, respect, praise. You pay it on time, you pay it in full, even to your enemies, especially to your enemies. Because your character is not decided by how you treat your friends. It is decided by how you treat the man who cannot help you, who hates you, who has nothing to offer you back. You also refuse what isn't yours: the shortcut, the loophole, the lie that would make this easier, the blame you could shift, the applause you didn't earn. You leave it on the table. Let weaker men scramble for it. You have something heavier. And a name, once sold, cannot be bought back. People will call you a fool. They will say the world doesn't work that way. They are right. The world works like a bazaar, everyone cheating everyone. That is why the world forgets everyone. The man who is just becomes a shock. He is the stone in the river. Everything else flows around him and wears away. He remains. This habit will make you poor sometimes. You will lose the deal because you wouldn't lie. You will lose the argument because you wouldn't raise your voice. You will lose the crowd because you wouldn't flatter them. Count the losses. Then count what you kept: your spine, your sleep, your ability to look at yourself at 3 a.m. when the house is quiet and the masks are off. Justice is also how you punish, not from anger, from measure. When you must correct a man, you do it for his good, not your relief. You do it with a steady hand, not a shaking one. You do not humiliate. You do not enjoy it. You cut the rot so the tree can live. Then you walk away. No speech, no victory lap. The act was the point. And you extend it to yourself. You do not steal from your future by being lazy today. You do not lie to your body by feeding it poison. You do not cheat your mind by drowning it in noise. You give yourself what is due: discipline, hardship, silence, work. Because a man who is unjust to himself will be unjust to everyone. At night you ask, where did I take more than I gave? Where did I stay silent when I should have spoken for what was right? Where did I bend because it was convenient? You do not excuse it, you name it. Tomorrow you repay it double. Do this long enough, and something strange happens. The world stops being your enemy. Not because it changed, because you did. You no longer need it to be fair to be at peace. You are fair. That is enough. You no longer need to win to be whole. You acted rightly. That is victory. Most men die with their ledger still open, still waiting for someone to pay them back, still angry at a bill the world never agreed to. So the world closes their book and moves on. But the just man, he closes his own book each night. Paid in full, owed nothing, owing nothing. So when they dig through the ruins 100 years from now, they will find your contracts, your promises, your word, all stamped honored. Not because you were powerful, because you were paid up. That is the third habit. It will cost you everything cheap. It will give you everything that lasts. Do what is right, not for them, for you, because you have to live with you. And the world forgets cowards. It remembers stones. Most men worship comfort. They build altars to it: soft bed, warm room, easy job, quiet life. They pray to it every morning: just let today be easy. Just let no one challenge me. Just let me not have to choose. Comfort is a god that eats its followers, slowly, sweetly, until there's nothing left of you but appetite and fear. The fourth habit of the unforgettable is to choose the hard thing on purpose. Not because you love suffering, because you love freedom. And freedom is never found on the path of least resistance. You train yourself with voluntary hardship. Cold when you could be warm, hunger when you could be full, silence when you could be entertained, work when you could rest. You do this daily, in small doses, so that when life forces the large dose on you, you do not break. You've met this enemy before. You know his weight. You know his smell. He does not surprise you. Most men are slaves to pain. They run from it, so pain chases them. It owns their decisions. I can't speak up, it's uncomfortable. I can't leave, it will hurt. I can't say no, I'll feel guilty. Pain is their master. They obey. The man who practices hardship reverses the chain. He walks toward pain on his terms, so pain loses its voice. Is that all? I've done worse before breakfast. When you fast by choice, the famine cannot threaten you. When you sleep on the floor by choice, the palace cannot buy you. When you bathe in cold water by choice, the storm cannot scare you. This is not punishment. This is practice. The fighter does not hate the bag he hits. He thanks it. It makes him ready. The world will hit you. Will you be ready, or will you be surprised? So you deny yourself. Not everything, not always, but enough. You take the stairs. You leave the last bite. You turn off the heat. You say no to the scroll. You sit with the boredom instead of killing it. Each no is a vote for the man you want to become. Each yes to ease is a vote for the man you swore you wouldn't be. People will watch and call it joyless. They don't understand. There is a joy deeper than pleasure. It is the joy of not being owned. The joy of waking up and knowing no appetite can drag you. No fear can move you. No luxury can buy you. That joy is quiet. It doesn't smile for cameras, but it doesn't leave you at 3 a.m. This habit will isolate you. Your friends will drink while you abstain. They will sleep while you train. They will spend while you save. They will laugh at first, then they will resent, because your discipline accuses their indulgence without you saying a word. Let them. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be unbreakable. And when the real crisis comes, and it will, they will run to you. Because in chaos, men follow the one who is not panicking. And the one who is not panicking is the one who has already been cold, already been hungry, already been alone. He has practiced loss, so loss cannot undo him. Hardship also teaches you the truth about things. Pleasure lies. It says, you need me. You fast, and you learn you don't. Comfort lies. It says, without me you will die. You sleep hard, and you wake up alive. Praise lies. It says you are only real if they clap. You do the work unseen, and you find you are still whole. At night you review, where did I choose comfort over character today? Where did I eat when I wasn't hungry, speak when I should have been silent, spend what I should have saved? You don't whip yourself. You adjust. Tomorrow, you pick one harder thing, one small weight, one cold minute, one skipped pleasure. You build the muscle. Do this for a decade, and you will be mistaken for lucky. They will say nothing rattles him. They will say, he's fearless. No, he's practiced. He's been in the fire by choice, so the fire by chance feels familiar. Most men die with a list of things they never did because it was uncomfortable. I wanted to start the business. I wanted to have the hard talk. I wanted to be different. But the couch was soft. The fridge was full. The screen was bright. So they traded their life for a slow death called comfort. The unforgettable man dies with scars, not regrets. He can point to the places where he bled on purpose. He can show you the mornings he chose ice, the nights he chose work, the moments he chose truth over ease. That is the fourth habit. Seek hardship. Make it your teacher. Make it your friend. Because the world will give you enough pain for free. If you don't train with it, it will train you, and it is a cruel master. Choose your pain, or it will choose you. And when they find your bones in the ruins, they will see the marks, not of chains, of choices. Stand, suffer well, or stay soft. The cold water is waiting. Most men are ruled by their temper. It comes fast. It feels powerful. It promises control. Then it leaves them with broken things and apologies. Anger is a liar. It tells you they disrespected you. It tells you you must answer. It tells you silence is weakness. So you speak, you strike, you post, you prove your point, and for 5 minutes you feel strong. For 5 years, you live with the cost. The fifth habit of the unforgettable is mastery over impulse. Not suppression, not pretending you don't feel. Mastery. You feel everything, you just don't let it drive. The world will insult you. It will test you. It will bait you. Someone will cut you off in traffic. Someone will take credit for your work. Someone will say the thing that hits the old wound. That is not the attack. The attack is what happens next inside you. The heat in your chest. The words forming. The fist closing. That is where the war is fought. And that is where most men lose. The untrained man is a puppet. Pull the right string, his ego, his fear, his pride, and he dances. He sends the text. He makes the call. He burns the bridge. Then he tells himself, they made me do it. No, you did it. You handed them the strings. The trained man cuts the strings. He feels the insult. He feels the heat. He names it. This is anger. It wants me to react now, so I regret later. Naming it creates distance. Distance creates choice. Choice is freedom. So you pause. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3. Not to be passive, to be precise. Anger wants speed. Justice wants aim. Speed without aim is destruction. Aim without speed is still power. You can answer tomorrow and still win. But if you answer from rage, you have already lost, even if you win the moment. This begins with the body. When the surge comes, your jaw tightens, your shoulders rise, your vision narrows. That is the animal waking up. You answer it like you would a dog. Sit, heel. You unclench the jaw. You drop the shoulders. You breathe through the nose, slow. You tell your body, we are not in danger. Because 99% of the time, you aren't. You are just offended, and offense is not death. Then you ask the question, what is actually happening here? Strip the story. Strip the ego. He was late. She was rude. The deal fell through. Facts. The rest, he doesn't respect me. She's trying to humiliate me. The world is against me. That is fiction you added. Suffering lives in the fiction. Freedom lives in the facts. You also practice with small irritations. The slow barista, the internet comment, the friend who cancels. These are your training weights. If you cannot stay calm when the coffee is wrong, you will not stay calm when your name is. So you let the small things go. Not because they don't matter, because your peace matters more. People will mistake this for weakness. They will poke you to see if you're alive. Why didn't you clap back? Why didn't you defend yourself? Because a lion doesn't prove he's a lion to every dog that barks. He keeps his energy for the hunt. You do not spend your life force proving anything to anyone. You spend it on your work, your word, your watch. This habit will save your marriage. It will save your business. It will save your future. Because most of life's ruin comes in 10-second decisions made by angry men. 1 email, 1 swing, 1 word. You master the 10 seconds. You master the 10 years. At night you review. Where did I react today instead of respond? Where did my temper take the wheel? Where did I add fiction to fact? You do not shame yourself. You study yourself, like a general studies a lost battle. So next time, you move different. Do this long enough, and something shifts. You become slow to ignite. And when you do, it is not wildfire. It is controlled burn. You use anger like a tool, not a master. You get angry at injustice, at sloth, at lies. But you use it. It doesn't use you. You are the hand. It is the hammer, never the other way. Most men die with a record of damage. Broken relationships, broken deals, broken words, all because they let a moment of heat run their life. The world forgets them, because nothing they built could survive their temper. The unforgettable man builds in stone, because he does not knock it down every time he gets mad. That is the fifth habit. Master your impulse, or it will master you. Pause. Breathe. See clearly. Then act. Not before, because the world will give you 1,000 reasons to explode. You only need one reason to stay still. You are not a slave. And when they dig through your ruins, they will not find ashes. They will find things you built that anger could not touch. Stand. Stay calm. Or stay a puppet. Most men live in the past or the future and call it thinking. They replay yesterday's insult on loop. They rehearse tomorrow's victory in their head. Meanwhile, today rots. The sun rises, the work sits, their life happens without them. They are ghosts haunting times that don't exist. The sixth habit of the unforgettable is ruthless presence. Not mindfulness as a hobby, not meditation on a cushion for 10 minutes. Presence as a weapon, presence as a way of war. You are only ever given one moment, this one, not the next one, not the last one, this one, the breath you are taking, the weight in your hand, the word about to leave your mouth. If you are not here, you are nowhere. And a man who is nowhere cannot be remembered. So you train yourself to arrive, fully. When you eat, not scrolling, not talking, not planning. You taste the food, you feel the chair, you hear the room. When you work, not checking, not doubting, not daydreaming. One task, one mind, one moment. When you listen, not reloading your reply, not judging, not waiting for your turn. You die to everything but their words. Most men are scattered. Their body is here, but their attention is in 50 places. So they do 50 things badly. They speak to their child while answering email. They lift the weight while thinking about dinner. They make love while running tomorrow's meeting. They wonder why life feels thin. Because they are never in it. They are skimming, and you cannot taste honey by skimming. The present is heavy. That is why men avoid it. The present has your debt. The present has your body. The present has your fear. The past is just stories. The future is just guesses. Both are easy. The present demands you. It asks, what will you do with me, right now? Most men cannot answer. So they flee. But the man who stays becomes dangerous. Because attention is power. Where your attention goes, your life goes. If you give a minute of full attention to the problem, you see what others miss. If you give an hour of full attention to the work, you do what others can't. If you give a day of full attention to the person in front of you, they will never forget you. Not because you were charming, because you were actually there. This begins with the senses. You walk outside and you notice 5 things. The cold on your skin, the sound of the crow, the smell of concrete after rain, the way your foot hits ground, the light through leaves. You do this not to be poetic. You do this to come back. Back from the head, back to the world, back to now. You also kill the twin thieves, regret and anxiety. Regret says, you should have. Anxiety says, what if? Both are liars. The past is done. You cannot edit it. The future is not here. You cannot control it. All you have is this action, this step, this word. You pour yourself into that. Regret dies of starvation. Anxiety dies of irrelevance. People will call you intense. They will say, relax, be somewhere else. That is because your presence exposes their absence. You look at them and they feel seen. And to be seen is to be accountable. Most men don't want that. They want to drift. Let them. You are not here to drift. You are here to carve. This habit will make you slower. You will not multitask. You will not hurry. You will eat slow, walk slow, talk slow. Not from laziness, from weight. Each move matters, so each move is deliberate. The world will rush past you. Good. Let the distracted race. You are building something they will trip over later. At night, you review. Where was I absent today? When did I leave the room while still in it? When did I half listen, half work, half live? You don't judge, you notice. Tomorrow, you pick one moment, one meal, one conversation, one rep, and you be there like your life depends on it. Because it does. Do this for years, and time changes. A single day of presence holds more life than a decade of distraction. You will age, but you will not say, "Where did it go?" You were there for it, every second. You drank it, you owned it, you didn't miss your life while planning for it. Most men die with their eyes open, but they never saw. They were always somewhere else. So the world closes their eyes and moves on. Nothing to remember. They were never really here. The unforgettable man was here, in this breath, in this work, in this word. So when they find his statue in the ruins, it will have eyes that look at you, not past you, not through you, at you. That is the sixth habit. Be ruthlessly present, or be ruthlessly forgotten. The moment is waiting, but it will not wait long. Most men want to be liked. They adjust. They soften. They agree. They hide the edge of their thought so no one cuts themselves on it. They call it kindness. It is not kindness. It is fear. The seventh habit of the unforgettable is to say what is true, even when your voice shakes. Not cruel, not loud, true. Because a man who will not speak truth cannot be trusted with anything. If you lie with your mouth to keep peace, you will lie with your life to keep comfort. Truth is not a weapon for hurting. It is a scalpel for healing. But it still cuts. That is why most men never pick it up. They bandage lies with more lies. I'm fine. It doesn't matter. You look great in that. Small lies, safe lies, the kind that rot a man from the inside, until his word means nothing, even to himself. You start with yourself, brutal honesty in the mirror. Where are you weak? Where are you faking? Where are you pretending to be further along than you are? You name it without excuse. I am undisciplined. I am vain. I am scared of failing, so I don't start. You do not flinch, because you cannot fix what you will not face. A doctor who lies to the patient kills him. A man who lies to himself buries himself. Then you extend it outward. You say the thing that needs to be said. The project is failing. The relationship is dead. The plan is stupid. The food is bad. You say it early. You say it calm. You say it without malice. Because truth said late is just gossip. Truth said in anger is just vengeance. Truth said on time is leadership. People will punish you for it. They will call you negative. They will call you difficult. They will freeze you out. Good. The crowd that needs your silence is not your crowd. The man who needs your lies is not your friend. What remains is solid. What remains can be built on. Most men are actors. They play the part the room wants. At work they are ambitious. At home they are gentle. With friends they are cynical. None of it is real, so none of it lasts. They spend their life switching masks and wonder why they feel unknown. Because they are, even to themselves. The man of truth has one face. The same man in the dark as in the light. The same word to the king as to the cleaner. That is why his word has weight. When he says, "I will," it happens. When he says, "I won't," it doesn't. He does not need contracts. He does not need threats. His yes is yes. His no is no. That is rare. That is why it is remembered. This habit will cost you. You will lose the deal because you wouldn't flatter the client. You will lose the friend because you wouldn't laugh at the joke. You will lose the opportunity because you wouldn't pretend. Count the cost, then count what you kept, your soul, your sleep, your ability to meet your own eyes without shame. Truth also demands you receive it. You cannot ask for honesty if you punish it. When a man tells you something hard, you do not explode. You do not defend. You do not shame him. You sit. You breathe. You say thank you. Because he just gave you a gift the cowards never will. If you kill the messenger, soon only liars will visit. Practice daily. One hard truth to yourself at dawn, one hard truth to another before dusk. Not everything, not always, but once, deliberately. I was wrong. That was lazy. This isn't working. I don't know. The more you say it, the lighter you get. Lies are heavy. You carry them forever. Truth you say once, and it carries you. At night you review. Where did I bend today? Where did I stay silent when I should have spoken? Where did I polish the truth until it wasn't true? You don't beat yourself. You correct. Tomorrow, you aim straighter. Do this for years, and you become a strange thing in this world, a man who can be believed. In a time of filters and scripts and half-words, that is power. People will come to you when the lies stop working, when the crisis hits, when they need to know what is real, because you are real. Most men die with their true thoughts unspoken. They take their honesty to the grave. So the world buries them and moves on. Nothing lost. They never gave it anything real anyway. The unforgettable man dies empty. He said it, all of it. The praise, the warning, the love, the limit. There was nothing left unsaid. So when they dig through his ruins, they will find words carved in stone. Not pleasant, not safe, true. That is the seventh habit. Speak what is true, or live what is false. There is no third option. Your voice will shake. Say it anyway, because the world forgets actors. It remembers witnesses.